When I heard you destroy the Takan vault, I was surprised.
By my order?
By myself? Surprised that I was glad to hear it. The Hotari do not wage war or kill our enemies if we can avoid it. But hearing that the Takan, who have decimated my people, took such a loss... Is it wrong that it feels like justice?
We sometimes have to take lives in the line of duty, but we can never take pleasure in it.
A necessary evil?
One of many.
Oh, that's coming along nicely. Thank you, Tylus. I'll take it from here. We're almost done.
I have to brief Ambassador Spock in a few minutes.
Ambassador Spock can wait. You have some fences to mend. I know you had your reasons for destroying the Draconian crystals, and I won't question them. Hopefully this galvanizes the bridge crew behind your leadership. But I expect there will be fallout with Portal. Assuming he's still with us.
One of Captain Solano's many strengths was that he welcomed opposing views, and I feel the same. So please don't ever hold back. That doesn't necessarily mean I'll agree, but I want to hear your thoughts either way.
Good, because I'll give you my unvarnished opinion whether you want it or not. It's been a chaotic last few days for everyone. You need to name a new first officer in preparation for what's coming. It basically comes down to Westbrook, Ermot, or Bedrosian. Obviously, there are pros and cons with each, but ultimately, the decision is yours. Commander Westbrook has seniority and was hoping to be Captain Solano's first officer.
I don't mind saying I consider Commander Ermot a strong candidate for the role.
He'd be a popular choice with the crew, and bring a steadiness to the position that others might lack. Certainly not a controversial choice, but then some may perceive that as playing it safe. You're as good as new.
Thank you, Dr. Duvall.
Always nice to have a captive audience. You really shouldn't keep Ambassador Spock waiting.
We'll have Ambassador Spock via subspace shortly.
Thank you, Mr. Ermot.
Petty Officers Diaz and Edsalar have first-hand experience with our adversaries. I thought it advantageous for them to join this briefing. I understand this is unusual, but I trust you have no objections?
I'll allow it, Mr. Chobak.
In all seriousness, what Diaz and Edsalar accomplished aboard the Zeldi is nothing short of remarkable. They're both to be commended, not only for surviving against incredible odds, but for helping our efforts against these scions.
You know, Carter deserves most of the credit. None of us would have made it without his help.
Well, I could say the same thing about Edsalar here. She deserves as much of the credit as I do.
It's like a mutual admiration society.
Ambassador Spock is ready for you.
Put him through.
Captain Reindeck, your recent change in station certainly warrants mention, and I trust you to faithfully execute your expanded duties. Right now, we must keep our attention on the clear and present danger that lies ahead, the Takan and their warship. The closest populations are the Hotari and Elydian systems, and they are likely the first targets for mass bioforming. After that, lies Federation space. I have advised Starfleet Command to send an impromptu battle group to intercept and assist you, but that will take time. You are our first line of defense. And with our shield algorithms compromised, we are at a great disadvantage.
With respect, Ambassador, sending more ships only opens us up to more casualties. The Aphelion's purpose is bioforming on a massive scale. The risk to a battle group is too high.
Your concern is valid, and I will forewarn the battle group before they arrive. But the greater risk would be in failing to stop the Takan. Remember, our strength is drawn from our ability to work together towards a common goal.
Have we made any progress in finding a way to defend ourselves from the Aphelion's bioforming weapon?
Currently, our shields will not protect us, but I am compiling all of the information the away team gathered on the Zeldi and cross-referencing it against our own as well as Portal 6-3's methods.
The away team is sitting right here. They survived without getting bioformed, so we know it's possible. So, what's the secret? How do we defend ourselves? Is there a weakness we can exploit?
Well, there are no secrets. It's a serious threat, and we're vulnerable. The whole ship is.
We saw someone getting bioformed. Once it starts, there's nothing you can do.
Huh.
Can't stop it, but you might be able to slow it down. It's too soon to say for sure, but we've had some promising indications that Duridium can delay the bioforming process.
Duridium?
It's not a cure. It's not going to bring anyone back we've already lost. But Duridium is a cell stabilizer, so it has the potential to slow down the onset of physical and mental changes, if not entirely prevent them. And might be the only ship in the fleet with this much Duridium on hand.
You say that it slows the process, but this doesn't actually stop the Takan from taking over, does it?
Correct. I can't be 100% certain, but it appears this is only a short-term solution. Also, it requires a much larger dose to be effective. We don't have enough Duridium on board to protect the whole crew. We barely have enough to protect everyone in this room.
Sounds like it won't do us much good then.
The use case I'd suggest is that it could buy a little time for an officer or a small group to complete a task or mission. But it has to be taken at the moment of exposure to the bioforming mechanism.
Prepare a delivery method for this remedy.
That raises the question, what is the mission?
The Zeldi's shields were stronger than anticipated. If the Aphelion has even more effective protection, we'll have difficulty breaking through.
We may not be able to block the Aphelion's attack either. But if they do strike, we know their weapon uses transporter technology. We might be able to backtrack their signal path.
Like we did to evacuate Captain Rydek from Tau.
Exactly. We could send an away team onto the Aphelion.
And destroy it from the inside.
I think Portal could still help us. If he can't get a first-hand look at the Aphelion, he might be able to identify a weakness.
I don't know how quick he'll be to help us after...
He'll help.
I'll have security personnel prep a boarding party, should the opportunity arise.
Petty Officers Edsalar and Diaz are the logical choices to lead any away mission to the Aphelion. They have already crippled one enemy ship. If anyone can do so again, it is them.
This isn't a rescue. It's a tactical incursion. Do you really have some special insights as Commander Chovak suggests?
Doesn't the fact that we're here speak for itself?
You're forgetting it's too dangerous to destroy the Cartabula, right?
That is still our understanding. It could cause a rift in space itself.
So, we can't just beam over to the Aphelion and set off an explosive. We need to find a way to shut it down from the inside.
Precisely my thinking.
If this is the necessary course of action, I support it.
With the help of Portal. He should be part of the away team.
I will compile all the latest data on the tricorders, just in case.
In the meantime, I want you working on ways we can combat the Takan tech. Shields, weapons, anything we can use.
Yes, Captain.
Anything else, Ambassador?
I know this matter is in capable hands. Hold the line as best you can. Help is on the way.
Thank you. We have plenty to do and no time for speeches. Let's get to work. Thank you, Petty Officers Diaz and Edsalar. You're dismissed.
While we have a quorum of senior staff, there is a procedural element we need to take care of. The Resolute command codes must be transferred to Captain Rydek for control of the ship.
Of course.
Computer, transfer all command codes to Captain Jara Rydek Voice authorization Ermot, Echo 4 Lima.
Voice authorization Duval. Beta 2 Yankee.
Voice authorization Westbrook, Alpha 7 Tango.
Awaiting your authorization, Captain.
Voice authorization, Rydick. Bravo. 5. X-ray.
Captain's codes The updated command structure is incomplete. Please designate a new first officer.
Who is the new first officer?
Please designate a new first officer.
It is my honor to name Lieutenant Bedrosian as the new first officer of the USS Resolute.
Wow.
Congratulations, Lieutenant.
I don't even know what to say. Thank you.
Computer, Lieutenant Bedrosian is the new first officer of the USS Resolute.
Awaiting voice authorization.
Voice authorization Bedrosian, Gamma 5-9.
Authorization is now complete.
Now, if you'll excuse me, there's work to be done.
Nicely done. I think that went well.
Captain Rydick!
Excuse me for a minute.
This is just unbelievable, unacceptable, inexplicable. To be the most senior officer on the bridge, and to be passed over again? I thought we'd turned a corner when you trusted me with the information about Captain Solano being compromised. But boy, was I wrong. And now this?
I know how you must feel given your seniority and history aboard this ship. You have every right to be angry, but I had to factor what would best serve our interests at this particular point in time. Which is why I chose Lieutenant Bedrosian.
And that is the greatest insult of all. One of the most junior officers on the bridge. Bedrosian doesn't have the experience to be an effective first officer. It'll never work. You might as well have chosen Handar. It doesn't make any sense.
If this was a scientific mission, that would be one thing. But considering what we're up against, Lieutenant Bedrosian is exactly what we need to respond to the challenge. If anyone can find Galvin's weakness, it's her.
I see it differently. So I guess we'll have to agree to disagree. Ridiculous.